Have you ever thrown something before? And while throwing, did you throw that thing upward or downward? Well, mostly of us will throw, for example, a ball upward before it reaches to the ground. And if you relate it to physics, it includes the time of flight, final velocity, final position, and initial velocity. And in order to have it, we need to calculate it using the kinematic equations. Hi, and today we're going to solve a problem about uniformly accelerating vertical motion or freefall motion. So now, let's begin. So here's a problem. A stone is thrown downward with an initial velocity of 5 meters per second from a 30-meter high building. How long will it take to reach the ground? So firstly, all we gotta do is find the given. And the first thing I saw is the initial velocity, but since the stone was thrown downward, so it will be the initial velocity of y, or the vertical. The next is the displacement, which is the 30-meter high building. And the gravity will also be given, which is the positive 9.8 meters per second squared. But why is this positive? Since the stone is thrown downward, then the acceleration due to gravity is positive. However, if it's the opposite, which is the upward direction, then the downward acceleration due to gravity would be negative. So this one, since a stone is thrown downward, then the gravity would be positive. Next is find its kinematic freefall equation for motion. And I choose the position time because it has the initial velocity of vertical, the displacement of y, the vertical, and also the gravity. And in this equation, we will cancel a one member here, which is this, because we don't have that in the given. So this one would be 0, automatically 0. And the equation would be looking like this, without this one. So we were now gonna add the one that shows in a given, which is 30 meters equals 5 meters per second time plus 1/2 times 9.8 meters per second squared and times squared. Firstly, we're gonna multiply the 9.8 to 1/2. So this should be 4.9 meters per second squared. Secondly, we will gonna arrange it to quadratic form, which is the a plus b plus c equals 0. But how do we gonna arrange it into quadratic form? So first, we will gonna subtract them. After the subtraction, put them in a standard quadratic order. And then, we will gonna multiply them by -1. Instead of -4.9, this will gonna be a positive 4.9 because it is already multiplied by -1. And 30 would be the negative because it is positive. So if we multiplied it by -1, negative times positive would results to negative. So this would be A, B, and C. And next is use the quadratic formula. So this is the quadratic formula that we will gonna be using to find the time. So multiply the 4 to 4.9 meters per second squared times -30 meter. So this should be, multiply the 5 2 times, which is 5 times 5 is equal to 25 per second. This one would be positive because 4 times 4.9 meters per second squared times -30 meters is -588, and negative times negative is positive. And also this one, we will gonna multiply the 2 by 4.9 meters per second squared. So this will result in 9.8 meters per second squared. Next, we will gonna add 25 to 588 meters per second squared. 613 meters per second squared. Firstly, since this is plus and minus, we will gonna do the addition. So square root of 613 is 24.76 meters per second squared. firstly add the negative 5 meters per second to 24.76 meters per second squared. So this will result as 19.76 meters per second squared. So 19.76 meters per second squared is divided by 9.8 meters per second squared, will result in 2.0 seconds. But in order to put this in seconds, we should cancel meters and also squared. But if we're gonna do subtraction, this will result to negative 3.0 seconds. But the negative root is not physical, means time can't be negative. So this should be the final answer of time. So therefore, the time it takes to reach the ground is 2.0 seconds. So here's the whole process. And that's all. Thank you for watching.